is a very, very important day. It is Buddha Purnima, okay? Which means that we have a very, very big responsibility on our hands. What I want you to understand today, and I know I'm shooting at nighttime, okay? So it's gonna be a little bit different. I know I usually shoot throughout the day. However, today I had an event to attend and so forth, and was performing a prayer there. I had to read the liberating prayer for Buddha Purnima, okay, which is Buddha's B-Day. Okay, happy birthday to the Buddha. Let's get started with today's topic, which is spiritual amnesia, okay? You have a divine self, you have a God self, however, you forgot what that divine self really means and what it really wants and what it's really doing, okay? So we all have this spiritual amnesia. I've experienced this spiritual amnesia. It's the fact that you forgot that you were divine. Have you ever thought back to an old memory of yours and thought, you know what, this is what actually makes me divine. This is what actually connects the dots towards my spirituality. It's not something outside of me, but it's something internal that I'm connecting with, right? So the first thing to understand is how you are optimizing ego death in your own life, okay? Now, when I say ego death, I mean moments of transformation, okay? Where you say to yourself, I'm gonna do this difficult thing, it's gonna crush me down, it's gonna be challenging enough where my persona slowly stops having so much of a cling towards how I want that experience to go, right? It's almost like a letting go of expectation in a sense, okay? So we all have this spiritual amnesia, and I'm not talking about like remembering past lives and so forth, though that might come into the picture. What I'm really saying with this is that you have certain understandings and of the wisdom teachings and the mystery teachings and all of these different things that are coming through right now, but you simply forgot, right? There's a veil of forgetting, and anybody who's in the third density understands that there is some kind of a veil of forgetting, okay? Oh my God, Dad, is that you? That's right, son. I've been hiding in the trenches all along, Lee. Finally, you found me on a YouTube channel. Thank goodness. We got to remember also that you're just playing a game, right? Everybody is just playing a game, and the game is sometimes it's being played on autopilot, okay? So start to understand that this is about a spiritual type of graduation, okay? There are different levels and hierarchies that you move through, but it's not so much on the outside world. These are almost like playing out like an internal hierarchy for you, where you are basically in the Law of One, okay? This book is channeled document, this book by Ra, okay? And if you ever have heard of the Law of One, you understand that one of the quotes is the root cause of blockage is the inability to see the Creator, which is the lack of love, okay? So if you are lacking in self-love, if you're lacking in love in general in life, that's going to be the root cause of a lot of your blockage, of this veil of forgetting, right? So you're not remembering because you're hating. Does that make sense? Okay, give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. And the ego, the body, and all of life is verily God expressing itself as life, since there's nothing outside of God. Therefore, you don't say you are not the body, you instead say you are not just the body, okay? So one of the ways we remember this intelligence, and again, it's this kind of, it's not like an intelligence like a Dexter boy genius, right? It's not that kind of a genius. It's a type of understanding of an invisible intelligence that has to do with you paying attention to this undulating expansion contraction of the universe, okay? And this undulation that you're experiencing right now, it's called spondo, okay? In Hinduism, it's called spondo, and I've looked at this text called Spondo Karika, I have some notes here. And it's very interesting, man, because this concept is like, imagine Shiva and Shakti are making love in the cosmos, right? This is the simplest way I want your Western mind to understand this, okay? Imagine that, and then that is that's that Bao Chika Wow Wow of the universe that you are tapping into, and you're understanding. You're basically perceiving it. You're the perceiver, and you're experiencing that through your heartbeat. That right? It's like the right. It's that slow motion running scene in every single like action movie that you know. It's that energy, that pulsation, that microcosmic orbit, that buzz, that chi, that prana going zhoo, 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 zhoo. It's the sine wave of the universe, whatever you want to call it, okay? But we understand that one of the ways that we remember this one, whoa, hold on, this light is really messing up, huh? Okay, this is way better, huh? Da-da-da-da-da. Why is this happening, man? I need a new light. I need to invest in a new light. Somebody. It's too dark. I can't see anything. All right. So, within a human being, spondo expresses a deeper dimension of ourselves, okay? It's this ineffable intimacy with the innermost reality of your being, okay? So this is scary for a lot of people. It could be, because if you feel that heart tremor, you know a heart tremor feeling? Like when you're nervous, you feel that little bit of that heart tremor. But this is more so from the thrill of being alive. From the thrill of existing. You guys get that? It's the thrill of existing. That's what you're tapping into with the spondo. Isn't that incredible? Amazing. Okay? So, it's this sacred vibration that we're tapping into. And you can do this all the time. And you can think of it like this sacred tremor in the heart. So the next time you're actually nervous, think about the spondo. The next time that you have anxiety and your heartbeat is, it's going faster and faster, you use your breath to ground yourself back down, okay? Because the breath is what your body speaks, okay? That's the language of the body. And different styles of breathing, okay? There's different styles. You don't have to just go with one style of breath work, my friends, and this is what makes you a savage shaman. You know your neurochemistry, right? You know what your hormones are doing. You understand your own human body, not just in a physical way, but in a metaphysical way. And that's where you're going to take the power back, okay? So, when Shiva opens his eyes, it is said that, you know, the world appears, and when he closes his eyes, you know, it dissolves. Similar idea to the god Vishnu, right? Apparently, we're all in Vishnu's dream right now, okay? What a wild dream of cosmos, right? Wow. It's like the greatest movie ever, right? Isn't this like, yeah, everybody's life is made to be perceived sort of like it is the best movie ever, and if it's not feeling like that for you right now, it means you've separated yourself from others, okay? So you need to find this sense of togetherness and connection again, and it's not so much connecting with others that you have to start from that. You have to start connecting with you. Stop abandoning yourself and stop disconnecting with you. That's where the game begins. That's the doo-doo. That's the Mario mushroom jump, okay? That's what it is. So the essential nature of the perceiver never departs the three states of consciousness. And what are those three states of consciousness? Waking, sleep, and dreaming. But there's also a fourth state of consciousness that I'm fascinated with, and it's called Turiya. And Turiya is the fourth state of consciousness. But it's almost a state which holds all of the other states. And if you understand it, it's like abiding in a state of wonder. That's that spondo again, right? Your innermost nature is said to be the abode of your omniscience. And those who are awakened can slowly become unveiled. They can slowly remain more open. Okay? Once you wake up, you start to understand that I'm seeing through all the BS. I'm seeing through all the patterns, all the jargon, all the weird stuff that people are projecting onto me. I see it all. Okay, there's no hiding anymore. Why? Because your third eye is buzzing, man. You can see through this stuff, right? You can predict it. You can predict things from before, and it's actually wild how that works, right? And it's a cosmic knowingness. I know women are tapped into this oracle energy very well, right? They understand it. Us guys, we have to do some legwork, man. We got to understand how to tap into this right brain. Because for the feminine, it's natural, right? Because play is chaos. Because when you're playing, you don't know what you're doing. Oftentimes, you don't know where you're going. Oftentimes, when you're just playing. But play is the most attractive thing you could do as a man for a woman. You could play with her, right? Because that is creating that same dynamic of Shiva Shakti, that spondo, that energy wave. You need to be polarized. And what happens is your traumas create a polarity flip. So that means you as a man are not always going to feel so grounded and masculine if you've just been through a heavy trauma, right? Or many traumas that you haven't processed or healed, right? And so it's going to actually make you take on these traits. But if you can actually heal those traumas, if you can understand that, hey, these little things that happen to me, they don't define me. I'm there to choose how to transmute this trauma into a triumph. And that's why one of your wounds can become a womb, can become an opening and a growth for you to get to your greatest self, actually. If you can learn how to take that pain and not get attached to the storyline of it, but merely take that alchemical fuel of it, right? It's 111, 1111, I mean, for me right now, okay? So, hey, this is gold, okay? Whatever is coming out, I'm allowing it, okay? But we live in a very left brain dominated world, bro. It's full of logic, it's full of rules, it's full of, so much structure that it gets heady. But the right brain gets shamed. However, if we let go and allow ourselves to have the skill set of imagination, that is your golden ticket, okay? If you want to get into Willy Wonka's factory of enlightenment, you've got to understand that the golden ticket that you have right now, okay, that golden ticket is your imagination. And if you can harness this, this is like the interface with the mind, body, and the spirit, all coming together at once, all understanding itself. Because this is a holistic understanding. If you do one thing each day for your mind, for your body, for your spirit, you will start to change and cause that expansive ripple again. And again, you've tapped into this feeling of aliveness, correct? Have you just ran through a field, right? Have you ever just been under a waterfall? Have you ever just rolled around in the mud? Right? These ridiculous moments, but they get us back into our senses again. And it's such a visceral understanding of it, right? Like the other day, I took a cold shower, and then I did some red light therapy with my red light lamp, right? And I just felt so clean afterwards, man. It was amazing. And, spondo can never obstruct the path of the knower, right? So if you actually know what's happening, if you actually know what's going on, you're tapping into such a higher frequency that other people can't even touch you in the spiritual world. And the way you do that is you start to understand the self. Because the more you understand the self, the more you understand the outside, the cosmos. You know the world without even traveling outside of your door. And how can you do that? You do that through accessing that subconscious, and through the subconscious you tap into the collective unconscious, okay? And when you are there, right, let's say you're floating around in the astral now, you've hopped many spiritual timelines, you're doing that thing, you're feeling good, right, you're rising in your energy, but you're stabilizing it, you're not rising and crashing, right, anymore. And it feels like you are understanding yourself way better. It's almost like if you were a movie character, right? You would come back on the journey with the elixir of life and heal the tribe again, right? So this is really what it's about. It's like you understand the code. I understand the code for me, but then I want to share with you guys so it resonates, and then we can have these ideas go back and forth, right? And once these ideas can resonate like that spondo, that energy that is being generated, and it's like a tennis match, a cosmic conscious tennis match, right? Like Enter the Spider-Verse, but for spiritual ninjas. Do you guys get this? You have to understand that you have to let go of this idea of loss, okay? Let go of the idea of loss, right? Because when you lose something, okay? When you lose something, it creates a negative framework. There is nothing to lose. Everything is to gain. What about that for a paradigm switch? Everything to gain, nothing to lose. Isn't that the cure to jealousy? Isn't that the cure to attachment? Isn't that the remedy? Because if you say, I'm losing weight, well, negative in your subconscious, my friend. You're losing something, and you hate your fatness, and you hate your weight, and you want to get rid of it. And let me tell you this, once you lose that weight, it's not going to change your mood, right? So you got to get to this identity level change with it. You're not losing weight, you're maintaining a healthier size. Do you get that? When you can reframe your reality into the positive and you can speak it into existence, you morph the resonant, the morphic resonance field around you. You start to shape the world around you using the words, using your communication. Understanding how one word, just one word can change somebody's life, right? Just like if you started to end your life with a full stop, I'm going to add a comma and tell you the sentence isn't over yet. Okay? You still have time to make a choice. You're whining right now, you may be annoyed right now, and you're venting, you're saying it out loud, but if you're saying, I can't afford it, you pause, you don't end the sentence there. Because if you want to tap into that abundance mentality, you say, I can't afford it yet. I'm working towards being able to live a more expensive life, okay? A lifestyle like that. And again, to use the words, a vocabulary that resonates with you, that resonates with your tribe, okay? So understand, if you really get the code of this, you will start to get all these memories flooding back, right? And before you sleep, you close your eyes and you dream, and you'll have all this imagery, all these vivid dreams, all these just very clear, right? Clear signs from the universe that you're on your way towards something, okay? And when you're going towards something, you're in the consciousness of growth. But if you say, I just want to be happy, you don't even know what happy is, my friends. And this is coming from a positive psychologist, because the scientific word for happiness is gratitude. And if you don't understand that actually what I'm looking for is not happiness, it's a deep present joy. And that deep present joy is always there within you. It's that eternitas, right? It's that eternal sense of self. When you can return there, everything else will autocorrect. When you understand that you are that, this is it, right? Like some people got that, right? Others like, what it? What is that, right? Others are confused, but you need to reach a certain level of consciousness to be able to even latch onto a concept like that, right? And actually be able to feel it and resonate it through your beingness. Like through the simple words, you can see it. And some people are seeing this and they're seeing an entire world. You see? They're seeing me as a Jedi, or they're seeing me in like some kind of an underwater stadium. Or some people might see me as like, oh, I just like, I broke out of a zoo or something. That's imagination. That's the world that you're creating. But a lot of people, when they have unhealed animus and anima, okay, that's your idea, like your male archetype, female archetype basically is the way you can think of it, right? Your ideal male in your mind and your ideal female in your mind. So that is who you're talking to. When you're talking to a woman, you are talking to all women in your mind. That goddess energy is there in the background, right? Making sure that you're doing it the right way. And again, it's from this projection. So once you heal that projection, once you understand it better, and you understand I have these different feminine qualities within me that I need to transmute, that's my own dark feminine. There's the idea of the four minds, okay? And we talk about the idea of the four minds on Primal Sutra quite a bit, but let me just explain it to you, okay? So you have the dark masculine, light masculine. You have the dark feminine and the light feminine, okay? Once you understand this is game changer. You have four minds that are constantly fighting for each other, like Foursquare, right? Just constantly connect four. Everything is just stacking in your mind with those four polarities, right? So it could be that the light masculine, the dark feminine are fighting. What does that look like in your mind? What does your visualization tell you that looks like, okay? Let's say you have the light feminine and the dark feminine interacting. What does that look like, okay? What is the dark masculine, light feminine? What is that interaction? Okay, so ask yourself these questions, because this is going to be important, because that's the way that your mind takes that information that I'm giving you and integrates it, right? We're in the age of information, which is Aquarius, but you also need to take the information and then integrate it readily into your life, right? So you can be embodied and move on to the next teaching and the next download, right? Don't get stuck on one point. Don't get, wrapped up in one book instead of actually what? Achieving gnosis, okay? Which is spiritual realizations through direct experiences, okay? So understand, if you push yourself and go to like an underprivileged school or something and you see that environment, it's already going to tap you in, right? Because it's a different environment. There's a risk going there. There's like all of these pockets that you have to figure out, and like all of these missions, right? And you are just stacking your microflow in these weird experiences where you just challenge yourself. And sometimes you have these spiritual challenges from your deities or your spirit guides, if you are working with that kind of path working, right? Or you just might be very drawn and very naturally religious, or you have a family that just like moves you in the direction of this stuff. However, start to understand how you make sense of it, okay? Not how society makes sense of it, not how your teachers told you to do it, okay? How do you make sense of it? And once you can really get clear that that inner voice, that inner critic that keeps nagging at me, is bitching all the time, that isn't really you, okay? That voice is a protective voice, right? And if you can understand that, change the pitch of it, make it sound like goofy, okay? If you make it sound silly, in your mind, you are going to laugh and therefore let it go. You have the power, right? Through your imagination. Your imagination right now is shit, bro. Straight up. You can't imagine shit. If I tell you, imagine a pony right now with, an icicle coming out of its head, okay? Like from its third eye. And now imagine it like just bathing in rock salts, right? And it's melting into these rock salts, and there's, an engine coming out of each of your chakra points, merging the rock salt. Some of you are just, what is a rock salt? Let me look up the definition on YouTube, on Google Translate. What? Let me just Google Wikipedia to check if I think I need to cross-reference this with another thing that I was saying earlier. But you're not here. You're not here, right? You've now let the imagination, the rock salt, take its own stream. But other people, they have visualized this weird, like, visualization. They enjoyed it. They just surfed the wave, right? Some of you just surfed that wave. You were just like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that's a unicorn with, like, an icicle coming out? Okay, I get that, right? And some of you just rode that wave, and it's almost like freestyle rap, right? When you freestyle rap, you have these Freudian slips. You say something, and you're like, oh, shit, why did I say that? That sounds weird. Okay, but that's your ego. And you need to catch that ego before it chimes in and just make it a part of the performance. Expose it to the light and then keep moving forward, right? Expose the ego to the light and then keep moving forward. That's what you got to do. So if you're like, oh, man, I feel stressed right now, say that. Oh, I feel stressed right now. Ooh, yeah. Stressed as a mofo. And then you exaggerate. Now you're out of stress. Now you're out of stress, actually. But if you're like thinking in your head, oh, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed. It could do anything because it's your imagination, you see? Your imagination is so limited, it's creating all these constraints and blockades and obstacles when really the obstacle is the way. When really the roadblock is the building block. When really what stands in your way becomes the path that you walk. Okay? So this is why you gotta have polarity, man. I'm not sitting here just like, and so the nirvana from the inside of your mind. Okay, I'm not doing that, right? Because I am tapping into a hardwired ascension process here. I can't just sit there and not observe the way that my spondo is emanating right now. I need to tap into this energy, whatever is happening right now, right? This energy overrides the one that's just blissed out and floating. But I choose to remain in that awe, remain in that miracle, remain in that wonder, and understand there's always wonder around the corner. There's always a sense of awe. It's not fear. It's not fear. It's an awe. It's an awe because it's unfamiliar to you. It's a wow, right? That expansive. Whoa. You've gone whoa before, but it takes a lot for you to go whoa, right? When's the last time you said whoa? Very rarely, right? Or maybe you get tripped out every day, okay? Maybe it's just a normal part of your waking life to have surprises, okay? So that's absolutely up to you, you know? And you've got to know what to do with that energy, because that energy is just sitting there. Some people tell me, you know, how do I get my mojo back? How do I get my mojo back? Your mojo's just dormant. It's just sitting repressed. It's still there. Remember your golden years, okay? Remember those days, man? You were crushing it. Dude, you were the coolest, man. I can't believe that, right? And then what happened? You told yourself a story that didn't serve you. Damn, bro. If only a mentor could come along at that point and tell you that that's a blind spot and that's a weird, inaccurate thought, actually, and that's not going to get you the type of life that you want, right? Someone to call it out. But we live in a culture where everyone's agreeable and everybody's just like people pleasing. And, oh, that's great. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that's great. Oh, super, man. Are we really going to get progress done like that, right? Now, I'm not saying be a dick to everybody. I'm saying that stand up for yourself, right? You are the God King or Goddess Queen. I mean, seriously now. Like, you have this energy within you, but you just barely have scratched the surface with it. You're so money that you don't even know it, and now you're remembering. So when you remember these past lives or past storylines or your starseed lineage, whatever is going on, right, up there in the mind, you don't have to attach to that. You just have to understand that I'm here, living, present, in the now, convinced that I'm here on a pure paradigm that is accelerating me towards the type of lifestyle that I truly admire in somebody else. When I look at them, I think that this person has something within them that allows them to be that free, to be that capable. You see what I'm saying? And once you have understood that code, you can wear that code like a mask or a jacket or emerge with it, right? But you can only do that through what? Imagination. So to remember, you actually have to allow yourself to understand that you do remember. And get into this suspension of disbelief, right? Like you're watching a really cool movie. You just have to sometimes enjoy it. Right? Not get worried about the character and the plot line and that plot doesn't make sense. It don't matter. Enjoy the movie, right? Eat the popcorn, enjoy the movie. Let it happen. Let the credits roll and then you move on to a different genre, okay? Don't sit with your emotions and repress it all the time. Sit with it and let the movie play out. Don't fast forward to the end of the movie thinking it's shit. You might do that, but that's making you feel impatient and rushed. You see what I'm saying? if you decide that there's not enough time, you're gonna rush through your life and miss so many opportunities. And this is what happens with you burnout folk, okay? You're doing a job that you hate and you're pushing it, you're pushing it, you're pushing it. It's only so much that you can only get to that level, right? There's gotta be a time where you actually start enjoying it, where you start having fun with this thing. Even though, yeah, I get it, man, it's your circumstances, whatever, you can't afford it, okay. But don't give me that excuse and give me a way forward. That's what I want. I want you to give me your next step. Just one. And then Kaizen it from there, man. You don't even need the next 2 steps. You just need the next step. And once you understand that, you cause a momentum, you cause a ripple effect. Your state starts to change. You start to glow different, baby. Okay? You walk into places and people are like, who is that guy? Even though before, like a week ago, you were like, nobody would care, right? What? It's an energy. It's an energy, man. So if you can tap into this energy today, do it. Do it. I dare you. I double dare you. I want you to scream out of your mouth all the things you've kept trapped in the pit of your stomach. Just say it. Whatever you feel, man. Whatever you feel, just say it out loud. Scream it at the rooftops. I'm a pussy, okay? Or whatever it is. Whatever you need to say to yourself. I'm weak. Whatever it is, okay? It doesn't matter. Everybody's is different, right? But if you can let that go, if you can just, if you can allow yourself to just shake that energy off, right? Then you can finally create that solace and get the ball rolling again. And that's it. That's how you get that memory bank working. And if you understand that, if you use your imagination really well and you understand that you have these claircognizant, clairaudience, clair whatever, right? All the clair powers, the psychic powers, this will come naturally to you, okay? It really will. But you got to understand the process, and we can help you to do that, okay? Primal Sutra Adepts Program, primalsutramysteryschool.com, okay? Check out the Telegram group, okay? We have a whole community, badass Sangha, okay? Where we're just changing the culture, man, with this information and this enriching stuff. My background is in flow state. I love tapping into the zone, and I am a walking testament to that, man. Okay? I choose to remain in that flux. I choose to absolve and dissolve, right? It's not to solve it, you have to dissolve it. Dissolve it. Okay? And when you know that higher beam of purpose, I think this is the full moon energy, guys. Do you guys feel that? I think it's probably the full moon energy. I mean, what is this, all right? This is just a stream of consciousness, paradoxical flow state mastery maestro coming in, drippy like a faucet. Every single millisecond is raw. Every single golden timeline is getting activated. Every time you wake up, you know you're the realist. Every time you breathe, you know you're the God inside or the goddess within. You know you're Mama Gaia's babe. You know you're Sky Father's bestie, okay? You know this stuff, man. It's in your bones, it's in your blood. You don't even have to try anymore. In fact, the more you try, the weaker it looks. That you're trying too hard, okay? When you try so hard, when you push the rock up the mountain like Sisyphus, you can't really roll with it, right? There's a difference between and they see me rolling, right? It's a difference, okay? One is like, okay? Sound like the grandpa from The Simpsons. And the other one, you're a chameleonaire. So it's like, is there even a difference? Yes, there is, okay? There's a big difference to somebody who's working like a workaholic slave, you know, trapped in a soul-sucking job, doing a 9-to-5, just on that rabbit hole every single day, just crushing away their sense of self, their ego into that. But suddenly, through that, they reach a point, they reach a dead end almost, like a stagnation, a stop, where they pause and they take a vacation or they do something else, right? They pause. That, you were about to hit burnout, my friend. But something protected you. Something within your system, your autonomic nervous system said, let's step on the brakes. Not so fast, okay? Getting older now, you have to look after your health, okay? This is important, right? We all have that sense of this danger. We know it, we feel it. And once we are terrified of it and never choose to look into it, we don't grow. But once we know what it is, oh man, it's like a superpower. You get, man, you're accelerating like 9 times the speed, and that's wild to me. Because if you truly want to be the savage shaman, be the priest beast, be the one who feels fully embodied into this archetype, then you can remain real, you can remain pure, and you can always stay true to the most authentic and exciting path that emerges in front of your eyes. Follow that path, lean into it, and come back with the elixir of life. I'll see you in the astral. Peace. Us. May the flow be with you, and may you never be the same again. I hope the next time that I see you, you're different. You're different. You've shifted. Old chapter's over, new chapter's begun. Let's go. Upward spiral gang.